sports in the desert.
Right.
Have a big gym.
Put all the sports in December.
Indoor golf.
There you go. Like the TGR league or whatever that
Right.
Tiger Simulation League.
Yeah, there you go. Simulated golf. Okay, so this is the report from Pat Hobbs. I'm just going to read it. Okay. In August, we had a fantastic participation in our 2-person eclectic tournament. There were 3 flights. The flight winners were as follows. Flight 1 gross winners were Cheryl Lake and Rick Winslow. The net winners were Steve Rajadas and Debbie Schrader. Flight 2 gross winners were Cameron Miles and Mark Kim. And the net winners were Chester Hobbs and Patricia Hobbs. Flight 3 gross winners were Ryan Danielian and Doug Randa. And the net winners were Eddie Baxter and Peggy Baxter. So our last event for the summer season will be the reverse par 3 2-person scramble on September 7th. All MCC members are welcome to play and encouraged to sign up, please. Sign up on Chelsea by September 3rd. The golf committee would like to wish David Goldstein, our former director of golf and head golf pro, well in his future endeavors and the best of luck. And that is Pat Hobbs' report.
Thank you, Pat. Jack not here. Steve, are you going to get that one?
Yeah, it was a pretty slow summer for the Greens Committee. Obviously, the last meeting was a lot of concerns over the condition of the golf course. Reminder that, I mean, we actually, the plan was that Raphael followed is he sprayed Sapphire, which specifically targets killing ryegrass. And so in June, I believe, right, we first started spraying to kill off the ryegrass. In the past, just because of pressure from the members and whatever, they've tried to keep the ryegrass as long as possible, which requires a lot of water. And the effect of that is to kill the Bermuda grass off because it can't start coming to life and compete with the ryegrass back in May when it should. So you end up losing your Bermuda base. And if you want to have a 9-month golf course with ryegrass, you could, although it's going to be a thin base. The rye is going to drop down because the rye is just going to be coming out of dirt. And it requires a tremendous amount of water, which probably isn't sustainable in the future the way cutbacks are. Remember that by 2030, Desert Water Agency has been ordered by Sacramento to cut its water use by 30%, 35% maybe. One of the highest reductions in the entire state for a water agency.
Good old California.
So, where is DWA going to be cutting water? I mean, I think golf courses are going to get hammered. So Bermuda is a low water, warm weather grass, and it's imperative that we have a Bermuda base. And so that was the plan. There are other concerns I have about the dying off around the ring around the greens. I think there's other issues going on with that. We're working on, Jack's been working on getting both consultants from SCGA and USGA to come in and help us do a water survey and take a look at our practices and what's going on with our course and stuff. And we may get some insight from that. We did have a sort of, I feel, a stumble. I don't know if that's fair to say, in not spraying a wall-to-wall herbicide for the weeds. I think we got a little bit overtaken with weeds. I'm concerned about St. Augustine coming in on the fringes and some of the broadleaf on the greens. Those are all major worries that I have. But I tell you, the golf course is looking better this week than it was a month ago. We are seeing a lot of Bermuda growth, and which was the goal this year. That was the target for this summer, is to try to push the Bermuda growth. And I think we're seeing that. A lot of projects on the course. He's done a tremendous amount of sodding. The golf course maintenance has done a tremendous amount of sodding work. They've had some issues this year with the wiring burnout. They had to replace like a trench, so it was a half mile or 3/4 of a mile of wiring for our sprinkler system down on 15, 16, 17. We've had the drainage projects that had to be sort of fixed by golf course maintenance when the contractor didn't do exactly the job necessary. So that took a lot of time out. We've had a lot of irrigation failures, which is scary for the membership because, you know, Raphael warns us that our irrigation system is getting to the older side of that useful life, and they're starting to get a lot of breaks. And the breaks are expensive, but it's also time consuming for manpower. And of course, it doesn't probably help that our two most senior irrigation experts are getting a little long in the tooth and are probably going to retire at some point pretty quickly. So irrigation in the future could be a challenge for us. That's about all I have. I'm just kind of trying to summarize all the things that the Greens Committee is worried about, concerned about, and examining. So.
Been a lot of conversation on the golf course, so I appreciate all of that. Thank you. Karen again, House Committee. Judy?
Yeah. I think you probably hear me, but.
The microphone, if you turn it on, it'll work. Oh, maybe not.
Hello, can you hear me? Does
No,
it?
no,
Hello? But, okay, all right, the House Committee met on August 7th, 2024. Artwork for the entry and dining room is still in progress, and the committee will inquire with a professional photographer to capture a photo from hole number 12 during the winter season to get snow in the background. This photo will be enlarged and placed in the entryway. The board of director wall and display is waiting for new board member photos and should be completed by September. The inner redecorating is almost complete, waiting on full-length mirrors and decorative bed scarves with matching pillows. These items should be done by the end of September. The committee is planning on an open house at the inn, which will coordinate with the season opener in order for the members to view the improvements. And the season opener will be held on Friday, November 1st. The MLCC logo merchandise will be available and marketed in the pro shop. The perimeter wall painting is still out on bid and scheduled for October. The bar wall removal was discussed, and the committee feels that this is a larger project. A survey will be worked on to send out to the members for their input. Dress code was discussed, and the committee recommends that some sort of a sign should be placed in the entryway to advise members and the public to see, because a lot of people do not know what our dress code is. The employee Christmas party was organized by Cheryl Lake. It will be held on Sunday, December 22nd. New patio chairs and tables for the sitting area outside the sandwich were discussed, and the committee chose designs similar to what we currently have in place. Additional chairs will be ordered for small patios outside the inn rooms. The next meeting of the House Committee will be September 4th at 1:30, and you're all invited to come.
Thank you, Judy.
You're welcome.
Mrs. Ketchum.
Well, Sandra is roaming Europe celebrating her birthday and family heritage, yet she still is editing the newsletter. So what has happened with member communications? Welcome letters are being sent to all new members. Reminders to spend the food minimum prior to September 30th are being mailed weekly. You've probably seen those. A mailer has been sent to all addresses in Mission Lakes with information about MLCC golf, dining, event spaces, the inn, and a coupon. You all should have seen this. It is staggered. Some people got it last Saturday. Some have gotten it since then. Some of the things that really prompted this was to make sure the renters knew that there was about the amenities here. And I don't know, Eric, the discussion was other communities other than Mission Lakes. Did it go to?
So it did. It went
Mountain
to
View,
Paradise.
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 So
And Mountain View.
yeah, Mountain View's
Mountain View.
Paradise, and then all of our, so hopefully we'll see some new business as a result of this. But this is also includes a 15% coupon for all of us too. And it expires mid-September so that it doesn't impact the influx and the rush that we see at the end of September with people meeting their food minimums. There's plans to have a welcome table at the season opener to meet new members like was done last year. And I guess there's a scavenger hunt going on, and somewhere on the clubhouse property is a copy of one of the first brochures advertising Mission Lakes Country Club.
Can I ask a question? The course closes the third week in September.
September 22nd is the
Okay,
last day.
is the restaurant open until the 30th?
Yes.
Yes,
Correct.
Okay, 'cause normally they close at the same time.
Correct. No.
not this year.
Not this year, okay, that was just, because somebody asked me that, and I thought I'll find out, it was, if
Yeah.
it closed on the 22nd.
We are gonna
How
have
come
Monday
you-
Night Football, right?
Yeah,
Well, of course.
Monday Night Football will happen. Otherwise, you'd have the rapid Judy Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of members.
And a
We
lot
had
of
60,
members.
70 people up
No,
there.
that's a good night for us.
So there also was a survey that went out about emergency preparedness this month. And there were nearly 70 responses. Of those, 6 members said they said yes, they would volunteer. And nearly 13 said that they would like more information. So that's really positive. And then I just want to take a moment to just remember Harry Avant, who passed away yesterday morning. And I only bring him up because he has been so involved for decades in helping the election process. So if you didn't know Harry, sometimes you'd see him and Barbara in their car roaming around the community, especially after he was not able to golf anymore, but just a lovely man who really did a lot in this club.
Thank you.
Came to every board meeting.
Yeah, he was here. at
Oh, yeah, they
every
come to every board meeting.
Absolutely, they were, right here in these chairs too.
All right, COPS committee.
So I talked to Larry the other day, they still are waiting until the summer's over until we get some of the volunteers back, but they have been driving once in a while. They go down and get the car and drive around the community, but nothing until probably the fall.
Okay. Sue, you're up again.
I am. And I'm giving this for Eddie, who's also out of town. The Pool and Recreation Committee has received the first quote together with a rendering to develop the area adjacent to the ADA restroom. We're in the process of procuring 2 more quotes from contractors before we present it to the Finance Committee. As previously mentioned, this plan will include the removal of the current 6-foot wrought iron fence and ficus bushes at the west side of the pool complex. It will add approximately 1,000 to 1,500 square feet of pavers extending from the pool deck. There are already 600 square feet, so make it look larger. Will include portable fire pits, furniture, additional fencing around the entire project, and will include drought-resistant landscaping and low-level lighting. The area will be available for member activities, seating, and will provide a great view down the number 9 fairway toward Palm Springs. The goal is to complete this complex by opening day in November. However, this will be dependent on receiving viable quotes for the project and obtaining approval to move forward from the Finance Committee and Board of Directors. The fitness classes during the summer continue to generate good member attendance. Come out and work out.
Doesn't that project have to go through future planning?
No,
Why?
not necessarily.
Why?
Well, we'll,
All projects are supposed to go through future planning.
not necessarily, but we will take this project when we get bids in and things like that. We'll take it to future plan.
It's actually
share it.
not in the.
I
charter.
shared it with them on the last meeting. You were there.
I was,
So-
I know, that's why I'm asking,
Okay.
because, all of a sudden,
We
I
know.
mean, it'd be like the House Committee just going, doing something without going through future planning, and that's not supposed to be done anymore, that's why future.
But the
planning is
last
bad.
committee, I shared with the group that once we get things rolling, we'll bring it back to them.
And on to future planning. Bill's not here. I think we'll combine on this one. So a couple things with future planning, the handicap ADA parking out front that we are working on, have been working on, we're still waiting on. I think we got the initial topography. We do not have the actual drawing of,
That's what they're working on now, the
Right.
design of the park.
so design
So
is being worked on.
that's getting close. I
Okay,
did talk to him earlier in the week.
okay. Any idea on how long?
Didn't give me a timing. He just says we're almost done with it.
Okay.
Okay.
So they're basically just coming up with a potential design. This isn't a hard and fast anything. It's, hey, here's what we would recommend that you do, and then we can take a look at that. One of the other things, yeah, so one of the other things that we're looking at, or future planning is looking at, is the maintenance structure. I know that you're aware, previously we talked, or they talked about doing a large structure almost identical to what is currently there. The idea is to replace the break room, restroom area that we currently have in the offices there. The building's old, so Mark, Florin, and I both did go down and take a look at that, and the building's pretty beat. I mean, hands down, it's pretty beat. So we did pull some boards apart to really take a look in there. You know, can this thing be rehabbed? Yeah, it could, but the cost there is going to be pretty similar. The cost will be pretty high, and then we're still going to be kind of stuck with what we have. So what's there is it really does need to be replaced. So what we are looking at is much more financial friendly ways of replacing that building. So we're looking at some bringing in, I say we, planning is looking at bringing in some prefab buildings there, something that can be built elsewhere, trucked in here. So I think we've got some pretty good, much more budget friendly needs. So that's it. So we're waiting on a few more bids to come in. Nothing else in there, right? That was about it. So, all right. Yes, sir.
Is this supposed to be the rendering of what's happening out here by the pool?
Correct. So I wanted to share that because Mr. Baxter's been talking about it every meeting, but we did get a design of it, just to give an idea.
Okay, now, is this supposed to be synthetic grass here?
No, that's real grass.
Maybe I should go synthetic, man.
Yeah.
Synthetic gets hot as heck.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not even for maintenance.
Yeah, but it's hot as heck. So in the summer, if you want to walk on that with your bare feet, it is warm.
And it
I
doesn't
think-
last as long out here in the desert, so it would be a replacement issue. It would be a replacement issue, right? That synthetic grass doesn't last very long. What's that? Maybe 10 years, yeah,
Every 20 years.
maybe 10.
I don't know about getting it too hot. First of all, I don't see a whole lot of people want to get that restroom down there either. So I mean, how many people are actually gonna go out there and walk around? Come on. I'm just saying, maintenance issue, probably a lot easier to take a blower instead of getting a whole crew out there to clean it up, mow it, all that stuff.
Oh, go ahead. It's
Something to
always
consider.
All right, thank you, Hank.
When's the next pool and rec meeting?
the
Second Thursday.
So
in September.
that maybe be a good time to go and speak with them.
I'll take it. I'll take it to them.
Okay, old business?
Old business. No old business on here. New business, we do have, we've got some vacant positions on the liaisons, so we are looking to fill a vacant position of pool and rec, and we would like to review some other positions as well, being that we have a new board. We've got some people with multiple liaison positions, and we want to look at doing some shuffling. So got a vacant position of pool and rec.
I would volunteer to take that position.
I would recommend to take that.
I would like to nominate Sue Ketchum for the pool and rec liaison.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Another one then. So
Congratulations.
congrats, Sue. Communications, who's communications right now?
Me.
Sue. So Sue's taking pool and rec. I think that we should look at communications and offer a different person to be in that position. So that Sue's not on that many of them, including finance, correct?
Is that one you want to step down from?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, do we have any nominations for somebody that can take over communications?
It just seems like a good fit for Greg, maybe.
Anybody else with any other thoughts?
I'd like to nominate Dennis Perry.
Dennis, we have a nomination for Dennis. Do we have a second on that one?
No, I'm gonna decline because I'm not there enough.
You don't
know
have
what?
to be,
It's okay.
it's a Zoom. It's
Yeah.
it's a very well organized run committee.
Yeah, I'm gonna decline, thank you though.
I'll nominate Greg. Did you have a student, Greg?
How many are you on currently, Sue?
Right now, 3.
So you're on 3. Dennis, how many are you on?
He's on the
I'm
call.
on Cubs.
Anybody else? So we've got somebody on 3, Dennis is on 1, and cops, we're really not.
Craig, are you interested in that?
And Cox now.
No, in the
Communications.
communication.
Sure, I'll take that.
All right, I'd like to nominate Greg Stark for member communications committee liaison.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? All right.
I look forward to that.
Were there any other positions that we're looking to? change?
No, that's just because that was open for discussion there, so.
Okay.
Is there another one?
Another committee?
No, another
Oh,
shuffle.
yeah, I think so.
Oh, communications is the only one.
I'm free. I'm retiring, so. And I'm interested in all of them. So whatever I can do to release. some
Corinne's on 3,
responsibility.
and obviously she's.
Well, no, like-
Lauren also has secretary, ACC, and House, which are pretty big committees. And I know that Greg is very interested in House Committee. And so, and he goes to all the meetings. So I would like to nominate Greg for House Committee liaison.
I'm only
Car-
a board member and I'd like that.
Carney, you okay with that?
I'm fine with it.
I'll second.
Sounds great. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay. That was it.
That was it.
We will have, we have an executive session today.
So this is sort of a last minute thing with the executive session. I don't know if we have any executive things to talk about, and the lien delinquent list was paid, so we're
Okay.
nothing there.
Awesome.
I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, cool. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Are you gonna pick a number?
Did you give Judy second?
Did give me a second.
How many
It's
are
a
on
number
that
between 1 and
list?
6, huh?
How many?
I think so. Looks like between 1 and 6.
I don't know.
If we
Hold on,
People
Eric.
hop and jump around.
if we get all these green space, we could have
Eric,
lawn
a second.
bowls.
We should do line darts.
Cricket?
Lawn bowls. No, not big enough for cricket. I'm
Speaking
sure
of
we
which-
could find a patch down on 16, no?
And 10? 8?
Pick Stacy, pick Stacy.
3,
We already had 8.
3.
Judy Grant.
Let's do that again.
Judy, do you just put your name on every number?
Yes.
No, but that's my favorite number, because I was born 1-2, so that's 3.
Gail Earnhardt, huh?
Now we know her secret, so don't pick 3 anymore.
Wow.
It's random, Stacy. I can't do anything about it.
Thank you, Sue. That was very nice of you. Hey, I have a question. I don't know to ask him or not. When you come to bingo and you win and you get
You didn't need to. He shot a 67.
67.
Yeah, but we still lost by 4.
Oh,
Thank you.
Isn't that something you need?
and Cam, that is a Cam.
Madison, how are you?
Purposely paired the two together, Miles and Taylor.
And you have your report that you being threaded?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
I'm 31.
Oh,
I knew somebody was gonna say it. And
You
when I
knew
say
it'd be me.
somebody, I knew it would be you.
Yeah, I'm innocent,
Exactly.
Brian. I'm innocent.
No, you are not. All right, I am just gonna say I will make many mistakes today, so please bear with me. Fortunately, the only one that's gonna call me out is you and probably Jaime.
I'll just make fun of you about it. If we were all perfect, it'd be a very boring.
It would. Anybody else on that?
We should hold the meeting in the bar. I've really good attendance.
We might get a better crowd.
Yeah.
Hi, Dennis.
Hello, how's everybody doing?
Fantastic.
Good to hear it.
Dennis, thank you for coming. It is 1:32. Call this meeting to order. First of all, thank you all for coming.
You're so welcome.
I appreciate it. All right, let's start with pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Approval of the board minutes.
We'll get some mic back here, please.
We're getting going. But
My voice not loud enough.
Can't hear nothing. Here you go.
You wanna move up here and sit closer?
So
So
I
you
can
can hear?
hear that right there. Your mic, I don't think Brian.
Why not?
No, it's just loud.
He is just loud.
It's just loud.
All right, there you go.
Do we have a motion to approve the board meeting minutes?
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Do I have to read them?
No.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Then I'll be quiet.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So passed, so moved. Motion passed. Told you. See? All right, member comments. Do we have any member comments?
You have three different minutes to approve.
they approved them all in that one saying that. That's.
I'll read, do you want me to read them in?
I'm just saying, normally they do each one
I
separately.
told you I was gonna make some mistakes.
Hey, no big deal.
I would like to make a motion to approve the following minutes. A, MLCC Board of Directors Session Meetings, July 27, 2024. B, MLCC Special Board of Directors Session Minutes, August 6, 2024. MLCC Board of Directors Executive Session Minutes, August 22nd, 2024.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion's passed.
Yeah, member comments.
Member comments? It's very quiet
Wow.
room today.
No member comments.
I do have one comment I'll add. It came in late with Mari Schofield call, but we are dealing with a couple migrants walking through the community and we're trying to figure out where they're at. And it's one happens to be a lady. She's been coming to the clubhouse. I didn't know she was maybe a migrant or maybe she's staying in one of these homes, but she's been noted on Facebook of checking people's doors and
When it was the dog.
yeah, and so anyways, I've contacted the sheriff's on emergency number. I've got a sheriff, you know, with the report and all that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, we just, if we see her, you know, try to say something or call the police, sheriff's department, they'll come up and do something, but it's tough. So, like I said, if I see her around the clubhouse, I have a picture now, I can run her out of this area, but I mean, for the most part, I guess she's going around our community.
I heard that too.
So, but I have notified the sheriff's department, like I said, filed a report, but it's basically, if we see her, call them and they'll come up and see what they can do.
Okay.
All right?
No other comments?
Other comments?
All right. General managers report.
Okay, financial overview for July. We had a rough month. I believe it was just really hot temps and humidity in July. Really think it took a toll on this month's revenues, but for the month in all departments, we were $24,000 and 15 or 24,015 over budget for the month. $1,997 under budget on expenses and $26,000, $13 under budget on revenues. And like I said, it was a hot month and the dining room was slow, golf course was slow. Maybe the renovations we're doing on the golf course, but very slow month. Food and beverage and revenue for the month, we took in $58,969 under budget by revenue by $9,631. In 2023, in July, we took in $69,433. So like I said, it was just an off month. For the month, we were a total of $8,029 over budget. Golf shop revenue was down for projected budget by $7,551. In 2023, revenues brought in $35,000 in revenue. This past month, we took in $29,232. So overall, like I said, we were down $3,976 from budget. G&A for the month, we were $8,368 below budget for the month. And this is more timing than anything else. That should catch up next month on this. Golf maintenance for the month, we were $4,128 over budget. Clubhouse was better than budget by $6,370. Mission Lakes Inn revenues, if we're going to talk about revenues, was down for the month by $5,732 from budget. In 2023, we had revenues of $9,751. And for this month in 2024 for July, we took in $5,406. Also doing some renovations in the end and stuff like that could, but for the most part, just down in revenue altogether in July. August has been much better, much better. Pool and rec department was $480 better than budget. In the reserves for the month of July, we spent $39,826, and at the end of the month, we had a total of $3,473,500 in reserves. So that's our sort of our recap for financials. Food and beverage happenings for the month of September. As you know, it's the sort of the end of the cycle, the food minimum. Monday Night Football is back starting September 9th. Sunday brunch we're having on September 15th. Bingo nights on September 5th and 19th. Karaoke on September 27th, and we're gonna have one theme night this month. It'll be burgers and beer on September 26th.
Yay. I like burgers and beer.
So we really encourage everybody as best we can to make reservations. Last night we had, I think, 19 on the books and we did 62 for dinner. So a very good evening, plus karaoke, so it was a good evening, but reservations really do help us to staff and have people here. For the comment cards for the month, I've got a few of them this month. Food and service both were great. Tapas night theme night was delicious, especially the lamb, meatballs, and chicken croquettes. Thank you for thinking outside the box. Good job. And then another one for it says excellent food and service. More shade structures at the pool for sun protection. Add a speaker where the big turtles are for more sound around the pool. Historically, there was one next to the palm that was removed. Thanks to Brian for the new bikes in the gym. We have one of the new bikes down right now, but we have one of the old bikes and the new bikes in there. Move cooling towels back to where they were. I think the staff has done that a little bit. I'm leaving here tonight with a big smile, acknowledging how wonderful the food was and service. Thank you. I really came up to meet my food minimum. I'm happy I did tonight. My friend and I had the surf and turf tonight. It was probably the best meal that I've had here. The steak and prawns were cooked perfectly. Thank you for the great service. Next one is bingo night was wonderful and fun. Dinner was excellent. Food, great service, wonderful, very nice evening. it's impossible to get some of the projects done before October closure. So we are only shut down 4 to 5 weeks instead of 6 or 7 weeks. Tree trimming, for example, close the front 9 to trim the trees, then close the back 9 to accomplish this tree work. This one was a simple one. On 8/23/24, it said, love it. Red wine is supposed to be room temp. All resources to store wine 68 degrees, while white wine should be at 55 degrees. For some people, like my wife, Chardonnay at 55 degrees or colder is what she likes. Excellent food service for Thursday night prefix menu. Compliments to the chef and wait staff, Michael and Louie. The seat on the new bike is locked, can't adjust. The bar that opens the gate when leaving the pool, this is at the ADA restroom. The bar that opens the gate when leaving the pool is burning hot. So is there anything we can do, anything that can be done? Or are doors on our new bathrooms going to remain the color of lavender? Blue would look better. We had painted the brown, and I'm sure it's just from the sun beating it, but that's, yeah, I think that's what that's saying. And my final one today was the food and help were great at Burgers and Beer as always. So that is the general manager report for the month.
Thank you for that.
I got a last minute member comment. Most of the summer, we've been missing the drop zone sign on 8 behind the green. We have the sign in the desert scape that says drop zone that way. But then, and there's a shaded area, it's kind of obvious if you know to look for it, but there's no sign saying drop zone.
Okay.
And then I told you my friends were getting a shade for not having pretty flowers in front of the 4th bathroom.
Working on that.
I don't know if we had them this summertime. I know we had.
We'll have them for the new season for sure.
Yeah, I know we had them in season. I don't know if we ever maintain those all summer long. It's hard to have flowers in the summer.
This
But
summer especially.
but the season-
Yeah, succulent or something.
yeah, it'd be a nice touch for the season.
I agree.
Stuff. Thank you for that.
So Brian, hit your microphone. It's, yeah, you just gotta hit
You
the.
don't
Push
get
the
this
button.
anymore. Which one?
On the top side up.
The slider there.
Hank, can you hear me?
You know, I got a question here.
Yes, sir.
Mine,
Yes.
in regards to what, Eric was alluding to about the, shade in the pool area. Has anybody ever thought about maybe shading the water area itself? I have that over my spot. I have a shade over my spot, you know, right there where you first get into the, right there where the water aerobics and stuff is
Yeah.
happening. You can get a couple pillars and shade that area there. I mean, has anybody ever thought about doing something like that?
Nobody's ever brought that up, but I thought about taking this comment to the pool and rec department and just see what their feelings are, but. It'd be a neat feature for the summer, that's for sure. If we
Well,
can
I
take
mean,
it down.
you can get a nice Wood job done for relatively, well, probably less than 20 grand if you have somebody come out and do it right, but. You know, I mean, that'd be kind of nice. I mean, everybody that's in water aerobics, man, they got hats on, and we got. all kinds of,
Absolutely.
You know, you name it.
It's hot, absolutely, I agree.
And that comment actually came from someone doing water aerobics about adding extra shade.
Probably my wife.
I think it was.
Anyway, just a thought.
Yeah.
Okay, committee reports, we've got ACC.
Okay, I'm giving the report on behalf of Kent Carlson today. The ACC would like to thank members for taking care of managing weeds and pruning palms on their properties. And secondly, members who took the time to respond to the survey in the July newsletter. The ACC very much appreciated both the positive and constructive comments. The ACC concluded the reviewing and updating of some of our rules and regulations. And they felt that having clearer guidelines that reflect the members' needs and concerns is essential to establishing better expectations. The submission of these updates to the board for presentation demonstrates a commitment to transparency and collaboration. ACC is excited to share we have 3 new vacant lot developments in the pipeline, reducing our vacant lot footprint. And speaking of vacant lots, be on the lookout for another survey coming to you for feedback on what to do with the vacant lots. The ACC feels that after 50 years, reducing our vacant lot footprint is a fantastic initiative to consider. Engaging members in this discussion will undoubtedly yield creative ideas and solutions that reflect the community's desires. It is a great opportunity for everyone to contribute to the vision and future of the neighbourhood. Overall, it's time for positive change and collaboration, and I look forward to seeing what lies ahead for the community.
AC has one motion on there, on your list there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, the first one, I make a motion to, for approval of changes to the verbiage for rules and regulations to go out for 30 days.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Yeah. You first.
Thank you.
I really want to give ACC kudos for the initiative of doing this, because they're the only committee who's been looking at this, and they worked really hard. I've been to their meetings for quite a while, and they've really pared down. However, the first one with noise and disturbances, I think is really unrealistic. They're wanting to say that pretty much if it's noisy, you're wrong. And it's like, who's going to control that? Though there are laws about disturbing the peace, I think that our current verbiage of having not being able between 10 and 7 is still adequate and perfect. So I would like to see this go out without that first one out there.
The board.
I agree. I agree with you.
Does that, does Sue put that in writing when it goes out for comment as well? That's my question.
I'm sorry?
Does Sue put that in writing?
No,
Because it's
no,
gonna
no,
be
no.
posted for question?
Basically, we would post this without that first one on.
We post without, okay.
And I have a question about the 20I. It says new addition, painted driveways and walkways must be maintained free of chip paint. I think under our architectural guidelines right now, we don't allow painted driveways. We have plenty of painted driveways. I don't understand why it would say in our things that we don't allow painted driveways now that we have modern epoxies and all that kind of stuff. That's a common thing to do. And it looks a lot better than stained concrete. But I mean, is that just a failure to understand that that's existing in the architectural guidelines? Or is that a change that we now allow painted driveways?
No, that's just gonna be added to the verbiage on keeping your driveways clean of oil and all that kind of stuff is gonna be added for those that have painted their driveways or walkways that needs to be, kept up if that's the case.
And then on the part where it talks about driveways, not parking on non-cemented areas, don't we allow like really nice pavers and stuff like that for driveways? I mean,
True, but I think what you're saying is making this better and clear.
right, I mean, it's the problem why lawyers make so much money is because people try to write a rule. And invariably the first pass, anytime you try to write a rule is gonna fail.
Yeah.
Because, you say non-cemented, I'm sure what they meant was it just can't be dirt and rocks. It needs to be a driveway.
It can't be in the desert landscape.
Yeah, and which is a law, that's the law in Desert Hot Springs, that's a city ordinance out there, it doesn't apply to us, but I mean, that's very common. I just, the non-cemented part, it's like. What do we allow?
I mean, I guess they were thinking of, the cemented part is including the, pavers as well. But I hear what you're coming from.
Maybe clarification on that, if that's what you're asking.
Another thing we could do is send this back to the ACC as well.
Okay, I'll make a motion to return this,
And then also on the pods and dumpsters,
okay,
the last 2 times I've rented a dumpster, it's actually been a dumpster trailer. So if it had wheels and a hitch on it, but it was for the point of using it as a dumpster. Because it's a small one, it wasn't a full-size roll off. It was, I rented it, filled it up over the weekend, and then the guy came with his own pickup truck. It was a lot cheaper than a full-on roll-off, because I didn't have the needs for it, but. I mean, if I did something like that, I wanna make sure I qualify as a dumpster when it's a dumpster trailer, not a full-on roll-off.
Well, especially since the goal of this to be clear.
Right.
Right. Okay, so we need clarification on policy.
So I think since you have a motion out there, you
We
need
have to vote
to
on that.
re-vote on sending it back to the
So,
ACC.
yeah, so I make a motion to return
Wait a
this.
minute,
We had a
we already
motion
have a
already.
motion.
That's what I'm saying, you already.
Right, and it's been seconded and we're having discussion
Right,
and we're all gonna vote no.
But is the whole point of
Oh, I get
a 30-day review point to gather up comments like that? So, I mean, should we just put it out there and we can add our own comments to that?
Then it would have to go out for another 30 days, which is fine. I mean, that's what it's there for, 30 days.
Or do we send it back to them and say, hey, we know we want these changes?
It sounds like.
Can
we're
you
sending
write,
it back.
we need to send it back, but I think that we need in writing your really very good points.
I don't have-
I think part of the challenge here is that we've got 4 different motions, one of which it sounds like nobody's approving the first one, or not 4 different motions.
So you still have just one motion,
So one,
right.
just one.
To send it back.
Yeah, so the motion right now is to approve the verbiage change,
Correct.
right? And we're voting no, and then we're gonna make another motion to send it back.
No, you just, if you voted down, you want it
Yeah,
to go
just-
back.
okay, so we have,
Vote.
So,
And we can revisit in September, we could still probably get this out by the new season, by the end of the year.
Correct.
you know.
And so the whole idea about this is just making it more clear. So I mean, what the questions are bringing up, I'm sure everybody out here has the same similar questions, so.
motion was to approve it though, and we have a second to approve it, so now we're gonna say all in favor. So,
Yeah,
and the original motion was to approve it.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
go back, all those in favor,
I'm sure I understand.
I think we're denying. the
All
motion.
opposed.
All,
All opposed.
all opposed,
Aye.
Aye.
all right,
well,
no, I can't, because I made the motion, but
You vote.
Better.
we can vote,
Yeah.
with a
a
clarification,
motion was made.
a motion was made,
Yes.
okay.
So now do we make a motion to send it back to committee or does it automatically go back?
I would, you can make a motion.
Okay, I
for that.
make a motion that we send this back to ACC. And if you would put your very pertinent comments so that we can have it for next ACC meeting, that would be great.
Does your motion also include removing the noise and disturbances?
I think that's part of the.
Yeah, that's
clarification.
We need to clarify. So, yeah, that would be, we need to clarify.
Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second? All those in favor,
Aye.
any opposed? All right, motion passed. Karen, you're up again.
Okay, so I have a report for the condominiums, our little HOA. And am I too close? Why am
Hey, I'm gonna move this, go ahead, you can keep talking.
I think you were sounding fantastic.
Thank you, darling.
Go ahead.
I'm pretty loud without it, but, so I want to first of all thank Helen Jones, our secretary, who is with us here today, for all her work keeping our community informed. The Mission Lakes Country Club Condominium Board of Directors held a robust and agenda-filled August meeting, packed with information covering both old and new projects. And our Mission Lakes Country Club Condominium Homeowners Association Board seems to be finding its groove and making significant progress. Homeowners Forum saw comments, complaints and questions of owners addressed by the board, which included roof replacement for buildings 10, which is still scheduled for October, and informing everyone that Rhonda Dews and Ashley Layton of our current management company are now the current contacts for our community, and they can be contacted via Appfolio, and also the contact information is posted on the bulletin board by the laundry room. President Walt Dryer reported major projects are on track for implementation and or completion. And this included that John's Laundry has been contracted to approve LG washers and dryers. And the laundry room will be unavailable from September 16th to the 23rd as those are being installed. We also will be installing exhaust fans in the utility room to keep the equipment ventilated and cool. And the water main mapping project is progressing. This project will enable each building to control its own water supply, and management is gathering bids. So currently, when we need to turn water off to a building, we have to switch water off to the whole complex because each building doesn't have its own shutter. So we're going to be working to have that completed or begin work on doing that project. Walt's also consulting with Mission Springs Water District, and I'll be helping him with addressing water usage on the property. And Senate Bill 326 mandatory balcony inspections for the condos will begin in October. And Vice President Mike Jennings and Secretary Helen Jones will be pricing and selling some excess materials we have stored in the shed. We have rolls of chicken wire and some other assorted things. For landscaping and building maintenance, of which I'm the chair, we're reviewing replacing of annuals with colourful drought tolerant plants to conserve water. And again, along with reviewing the complex's watering schedule. Residents are reminded to pick up after their dogs, and the board is in process of drafting rules and regulations for owners who don't comply with curbing their dogs and picking up after them. Common Areas Committee Chair is Mike Jennings, and he reported observing some thorough patrols by the Palm Desert sheriffs within the condo community complex. And he also reports no issues with the pool or illegal dumping. And he's going to be available in the mornings to distribute parking placards to residents. He also will be reaching out to the Palm Desert Sheriff Sergeant to finalise setup of the substation. And we're going to start preparing to possibly developing a neighbourhood watch within the community down there. Thank you. Our newsletter committee chair, Helen, will have a link to the September Mission Lakes Country Club condos newsletter available at Folio. And then our newsletter will also be emailed. And Helen, have you also set up a link to the club newsletter? I think we were trying to arrange a link to the club newsletter in that folio as well, so that our owners can also have access to goings up here, just to catch them in case they don't read the emails that the club sends out. And that's it for our report.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen. All right, Steve Extrand, you were up.
Yeah. The computer keeps threatening to do a reboot for a software upgrade. So we're hoping it doesn't cut us off here. I'd like to make a motion to approve checks over 1,000 from operations and reserve accounts for July 2024.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Passed.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the finance and credit reports for July 2024.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Passed.
We had a $1.5 million T-bill expire in the end of July. And David Cadillo and I consulted with the firm's bond broker, and we purchased two separate $769,000 T-bills. One with a 6-month maturity, and one we purchased from the open market a portion of a 1 year that had 9 months remaining. That way it allowed us to stagger different amounts, so not everything is expiring at the same time. And so we reinvested that and made a good chunk, made at $20,000 on